Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 morning show. 5 minutes past the hour. Well, we love featuring indie artists on the show, and today we're heading to Texas to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Adrianna Freeman. Adrianna broke through barriers in the early 2000s to launch her career, and her dad just released a book about their family journey and country music called Our Nashville Experience. We're excited to have Adrianna on the phone. First, thanks for coming on, Adrianna.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Thanks, everybody, for listening as well.
Yeah, well, researching you, either you do or you don't, came out, in like 2012?
Yes, absolutely. We were trying to get some traction with radio in the U.S., and we just weren't able to do that. So we decided to release the music overseas first, and we did very well there. The song charted to #1 in several different countries. And so we decided to bring it back to the U.S. to see if we could get fans here in my home country excited about my music. And that also led to my father writing a book, which you mentioned about our Nashville experience, just to give people a little insight as to how hard it is to be an artist and make it in the music industry.
Yeah, it's not easy because you had Old Wounds. I think it came out in like 2013. And then the last decade, have you still been performing? Did you take it off? What?
So I did a little bit of performing here and there. And then I took some time off because I just needed to heal my soul and my spirit and, be able to write again and be able to feel like I was a part of a music genre that I absolutely love and have always loved. So I needed to take some time off just to get my mind right because I was kind of in a bad place for a minute there. My music tells you all. So, now I'm back here and we're going to be releasing some new music, and I'm very, very hopeful this time around. Yeah,
this business will chew you up and spit you out. That's for sure. Because, you almost got signed to a record label. I saw one thing you were saying. You almost got signed back in the day. You were a very promising young artist. Was it just barrier after barrier? What was it?
Yeah, it was. It was. First of all, it takes a person with an extraordinary amount of patience, persistence, and talent to even sustain all the no's you're going to get in Nashville. Every famous artist that is out there right now probably got passed on every label. Just like I did in Nashville. And I came really, really close to making it and finally realizing my family's dream. And, it was just Gestapo or no or, labels changing, employees there. And some the person who was working with you no longer works there. And then the music industry took a huge hit, of course, with all of the, people were downloading before the streaming became a big thing. Yeah. So it was just a lot, and I really think what truly the problem is that for a genre where there was an unproven market or talent, that's what I kept being told, that it was just, it was very hard to break any country artist. It doesn't matter who you are or what you look like. And the thing is that if they haven't done it before, there's no guarantee that it would go through and people would be receptive to it. Even with the likes of Teddy Gentry, it still is incredibly hard for me to do that. So, I just tell anybody, listen, if you think you're going to go to Nashville and become an artist right away, get a line, honey. Everybody sings and everybody plays and everybody's good. So it's very difficult to make it there. But if you are persistent and talented, you will stand out. Cream always rises to the top. That's what I say.
It's crazy. We talked to all kinds of up-and-coming artists, and we had one guy, Chris Clark, on, and he's like, every week it's different. You have a good week, and then everything will go to hell. It's just, you got to have thick skin. It's rough. Well, you grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, or you grew up in Tallahassee, Florida?
Yes. I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida. My grandparents were former sharecroppers, and so we all lived on this big plot of land for a while. And then my father went on to become general contractor. And then we moved around because he would, anytime there was a hurricane or whatever, he would have to go to that area to help the FEMA efforts and stuff like that. So my main childhood, though, was in Tallahassee. I spent a bulk of my life there.
Yeah, and you freaked your family out when you started singing country songs to them.
Actually, no. My cousins, I freaked out, but my granddaddy always wanted to sing country music. I mean, he just knew he was going to be a country star. Now, he couldn't sing that well, but he really loved country music, and so he instilled that into my father, who also went to Nashville and tried to make it. He's a singer and used to play bass, but then Mama got pregnant with me, and then Dad had to, kind of take his head out of the clouds and take care of his family. And so he instilled that love of country in me. He would always play country music records. And so I just kind of grew up singing that way because I didn't know any different. And then when I went into schools and places like that, that's when people were like, "What are you doing? Why are you singing? That's crazy." I'm like, "I don't know. I like it."
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happened. It was not a fluke. I think it was by design from my granddad and my dad trying to, still live out their dreams through a younger generation.
Well, go check her out. Adrianna Freeman. She's at adriannafreeman.com. She's on Facebook, Twitter. The book that her dad wrote, Our Nashville Experience, is out now. Well, I mean, back when you're getting going, you get the attention of Teddy Gentry from Alabama. How did that happen?
It was actually, like I said, the other person was on, it's a stroke of luck. You have some good weeks and you have some bad weeks. I was actually in the office getting ready to be signed by Lyric Street, and I was going to meet one of the VPs there, and my former person that I was working with, Mr. Bernard Porter, he had a connection, I believe, with Teddy on another project. And so he let Teddy hear my music, and he had a very interesting way of shopping me around Nashville because, he understood what we were up against. So he would shop me without any pictures, and he would just let them hear the music first, and then they would get it. They were like, "Who is this person?" And so that's kind of what happened. And then I went to meet Teddy, and then we just kind of took off from there. But it was a stroke of luck, and then just, again, perseverance, showing up, just doing whatever I can, going to every meeting that has been established for me, because you never know where your blessings are going to come from and who you're going to meet.
Yeah, wow. And Teddy loved you. He thought you sounded like Tammy Wynette.
Yes, he did. He was very, very nice and very gracious. I mean, he took me back to his home, and I met his lovely wife, Linda, and his daughter, Sally. And we had dinner there. I mean, here is Alabama Teddy Gentry cooking for little old me. I didn't know what to do. I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't cook for me." So it was just a really good time and a good working relationship with Teddy, and I do owe him a lot. And he was one of the few people in Nashville that stood up for an artist like myself that happened to be very different. And he stood behind me and helped me. He got me in with Cracker Barrel as well. I mean, he was just very instrumental in helping my career get to the next level.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's how tough this business is. You have Teddy behind you. You're an attractive woman. You can sing, and you still are just breaking down walls. I mean, I don't get it. It's crazy. I mean, would you say that, you were back, it was 20 years ago, and then like 10 years ago. Would you say country music is prejudice? What's the deal?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. Well, here's what I think it really truly is. It's they've never tried it before, right? With Charlie Pride, when they first came out with him, they didn't know if it was going to work, and luckily for him, it did.
Yeah.
And so there was always that little crack through the door, right? That maybe some of us can get in. But if you think about this, there was really no black female country artist out there doing it and trying to make it at that time. We were in silos. There were a few of us out there. Like I fondly remember talking to Frankie Stanton, also Reese Palmer, talked to her a few times. I mean, there's another lady named Vicky Van who was out there around that time, Miko Marks, and there just wasn't many of us.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the labels were afraid to do something that may not make money, because at that time they were losing money hand over fist too. So for me, this is how I feel. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can tell you that I felt like it just wasn't a proven market, and they didn't know if country music fans would be receptive to, me singing country music, and would they support me. I think that there was just an unknown question mark, and, nobody was willing to go out there and take a shot. But there were a few people in Nashville that stood up and said, no, this girl deserves a shot. But even them, they got pushed down, and I think that's because, again, they're like, well, there's no proven market. I mean, how many black females have sold country music? I mean, there's no proven market. And so that's what I felt like. It was just fear and apprehension about what the country music fans would think. And I kept telling them, like, y'all are the ones with the problem. It ain't the fans. They love me. It's you,
Well, exactly.
So,
they wouldn't take the chance. And it's all about the mighty dollar. But, man. Yeah, it was
discouraging. It was very discouraging. I can tell you, but I just kept holding my head up high. I kept showing up. I kept performing my butt off, and people started to come around. They really, really did. But we just couldn't get the traction enough to sustain a lifestyle of any kind. I mean, I was working 2 jobs and doing music full time at the time, just trying to keep my head afloat. So we went overseas, and we didn't hit any of those barriers that we were hitting here in the U.S., which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I still believe that there is a market for African-American women in country music, and I still believe that we need to have positive representation of us there, and I know that country fans will back us. I know they will. It's just, you got to have someone get out there with you. A label has to stand up and say, yes, I'm going to do this. I think Mickey Guyton, when she came around, I was happy to see that a black female was finally signed by a major label, because up until then, it really hadn't happened. I mean, I had been very, 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 very close with several labels, but it still never went through. So I was happy to see that there was some sort of representation of women that look like me in country music, and I wish all of the women in country music, kudos, and just get out there and kick butt, ladies, because we deserve to be there. We absolutely do.
Yeah, well, it's getting better. I mean, they had a couple years ago where there was an uproar because they weren't getting nominated for any country music awards, but now it seems like about every third song we play is a female artist, so it's good. It's getting better, but you still don't see any black women.
No, you don't. And I am hoping to really, really change that. I mean, Mickey Guyton, she was out there. I believe she signed with Capitol Steel, and she was doing her thing. And that was kind of the first real deal where it was a major label backing a black woman, Reese Palmer. Also, she came out. I was very happy to see. I believe the first song was a Country Girl, and I absolutely loved just seeing representation of women that looked like myself.
Yeah.
I was like, good, I'm not the only one. I'm not the unicorn. There are others.
Yeah, there's others. I'm not it.
No.
That's, I mean, did you start AFM Entertainment because you couldn't get signed? You were like, well, I'm going to start my own.
Absolutely. Because, in order to get in with radio and some of the publications and things like that, you need to be represented by by a record label. And my father, out of sheer frustration, and then he saw what it was doing to me too emotionally. He was like, honey, let's just start our own label, and that way we can release our own music, and maybe we can get some people to get believe in what we're doing. But yes, that's why we did it, because we just couldn't get signed. We kept trying.
Wow.
It was just no. But again, I want to say, it is hard for any artist in that it doesn't matter what you look like.
Yeah, no, it's hard for anybody.
Yes. The system is designed to say no, and only a few make it through there. But, to be represented by someone who looks like you is very, very important. And I know that there are people who love country music of all colors and races. So I don't think that it should be fueled by the fact that I am black and I didn't get signed. I think people should understand that it's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't matter how good you are. Everybody's good. And so the record labels, they have to do what their market research and do what people tell them to do, even if they believe in you. Some of the executives are still, their hands are tied, even if they believe in you. So, it's tough.
Yeah,
very tough.
Very tough. Adrianna Freeman, she's at adriannafreeman.com. She's on Facebook, Twitter. Her book, Our Nashville Experience, is out now. Well, your dad went from a sharecropper to an author. When he brought this book idea, were you like, okay, but what? Or what'd you think?
I hated it. When he told me, I was like, no, don't do it. No, because this book is it's very different. So there's the printed book, the ebook. The printed book will be out here probably in the next couple of weeks, and then we've also done an audio book, and that's where I wanted to just crawl up under a table. I was like, well, Dad, please don't. But in the audio book, he wanted to show the progression of where we started 20-some years ago to where we are now. And it's got some singing that I did when I was a little girl in it. I was like, why are we putting all this music in this audio book? And he's like, because I want people to know how good my daughter is. And so I wasn't thrilled about him writing the book because there were some things that were very, hard for me as an artist. And sometimes there were dark times in it. But, he wanted to write it. And
yeah, then you got to relive everything.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like people are like, have you read the book? No, I haven't read the book.
Yeah, I lived it. I don't want to deal with it again.
I don't want to read it. No, but he wanted to do that, and so the audio book hopefully will be out here soon as well, and then people get to not only read, but they also get to hear and, see what it was like and where we progressed, from singing in country bars in North Florida to being up on huge stages. It was a journey. It definitely was a journey, but it's made me the woman I am today. I feel like I'm more confident in my music and my abilities, my stage presence, and even, writing and choosing songs to sing. I feel like there's a level of confidence there for me because I've already done all this stuff, and it's like I'm not afraid to express who I am now, and I'm not afraid of what people think just because I'm African American singing country music. I believe that it's music for everyone. I've always loved country. I think country is great. We have stories that, you just connect with people on a different level when they listen to country music, and I've always loved that part and that aspect of it. You could have fun. It'll make you cry. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love it. It has so much emotion in the music. So I'm glad that my dad put out the book. I am glad that there's an audio version of it so people can hear our progression. And I'm glad that people actually care about how I feel about my music and actually want to listen to it. I think that's the best thing an artist can ever want. If someone said your music is good and they went out and bought something, it's like, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the joy of it. That's what you want. So I'm very, very happy that it is bringing awareness to my music and bringing awareness to the fact that I was there a long time ago, and I didn't just wake up and jump on the crate. No, I was doing this a long time
She's paid
ago.
her dues, that's for sure. Either you do or you don't. Go and listen to it because it is an awesome album. It's very good, Adrianna. So I will recommend that. Old Wounds also out there. If you go to any streaming service, you can find it. Go to her website, adriannafreeman.com, and you can learn more about the book. And also, you have a new song. They don't make them like that no more. When's that coming?
Well, so that was released internationally. We are gearing up to release it here in the U.S. as well. So that should be coming to a radio near you maybe in a month or so.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a fabulous song. It's it was an emotional song for me because it was about my grandparents. They are both no longer here, but they had a love that lasted for many, many, many years and brought the fruits of my father and then myself, and it just kind of resonated with me a lot because they don't make them like that no more,
No, and if you go to YouTube, there's a video about the book as well. So go and check that one out. Well, before we let you go, Adrianna, do you really want to embark on this journey again?
Absolutely. I told my dad, I'm going to give it one more shot.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it one more shot, but we need people like you, Jeff, and radio to get behind us. We need the fans that are listening to get behind us and prove that there is a market for African-American women in country music. And, you know, some of the country artists are now helping and taking a stand and taking more African-Americans out on the road with them and helping us promote our music. And I just say, you know, Nashville, keep doing what you're doing. This change is positive. It is good. And we should all be included.
Exactly. It's 2023, damn it. Come
on.
What the hell?
Exactly.
Jeez.
Get over it. Let's get out there and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Well, let's hear one of her songs. Either you do or you don't. The title track, Adrianna Freeman. Adrianna, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Here we go. It's either you do or you don't. It's Adrianna Freeman. It's KIX 96.5.